Hey, this is Anton, and you're watching Antoons. Hey, this is Anton, and you're watching Antoons. Hey, this is Anton, and you're watching Antoons. So today we're gonna.
Hi, I'm Badly Animated YouTube Fairy, and I'm here to put you out of your misery. Here we go! Nobody would ever watch that trash you were filming, so I'm giving you a cartoon makeover to make everyone happy. And you don't need to embarrass yourself in front of the camera when you can just hide behind a little drawing.
Wait, why is my movement so limited? Oh, am I in one of those storytime animations?
Quantity over quality, silly.
It's true though. I don't get along well with the camera. So anyway, let the answering of your questions begin. Why did you pick the name Antoons? Once upon a time, the name Anton fell in love with the word cartoons, and so they married, and after a while they had a baby who got the name Antoons. Then the parents divorced, and Antoons was given up for adoption. The tragic story of Antoons was relatable in some ways, and that's why I adopted this name. At what age did you start getting into art and animation? Well, I've been drawing since I was about 2 or 3 years old. When did I get into making animation? I think it was at around age 16 or 17 when we had some animation class in our technical school, or I think it's called vocational school. So it's like after middle school you can choose to go to normal high school or to a specialized one. So I went to the one which had this graphic design path, which by the way was complete garbage. What inspired me to animate? I guess it's because for me it's the ultimate art form. You can mix everything in animation. You can mix music, sound, voice acting, live action. So you can do so much, and it's just nothing really like matches this type of art form if you think about it. I mean, in terms of potential. So the only limit is the imagination. How did I start making animations? Well, again, ever since I learned a bunch of flash techniques from high school, well, vocational school, that's when I kind of started to learn a bit more and more. But it wasn't until I got into the animation course in this English university when I started to seriously study animation, because they had a lot of books in the library, a lot of tools I could use. It was actually the first time I tried a light box in this room we had. While the course overall was quite disappointing, it still had some interesting ideas. What is my favorite cartoon? Let's see, out of all the hundreds, maybe thousands of TV shows I've watched during my lifetime, I would say, yeah, Ed, Edd n Eddy. No doubt about it. I think it really spoke to me to a T. Every character was so relatable. I could really see my own neighborhood friends and neighborhood kids around me who had pretty much the exact same personality as those from that show. And it kind of connected real life with the wacky cartoon world, which is only possible, in animation. Do I ever feel tired when making my animations? And do I enjoy making them? It can get really tiring to sit at home constantly, daily. I've had periods when I would stay at home working nonstop for 3 or 4 weeks without leaving the house. The ever annoying thing is that I keep getting this dry skin condition because this screen tablet that I use for animation produces some heat, and it just dries up the skin really fast. But I still love animating more than anything. Why is my animation style set to a kind of a pencil drawn type? I like using this pencil brush because it feels more organic, more rough, and imperfect. I think because it's so imperfect, it feels more real, like the real world. There's not really much perfection out there. There was a period in the 70s, I think, when Disney used Xerox process to make the cells remain with that kind of pencil-like line everywhere. So it feels like it's straight from the animator's desk. And in a way, yeah, it's more kind of closer to the individual who draws. It looks rough and raw, but at the same time, it's more alive, I find. And actually, Ed, and Eddie was one of the first shows which kind of introduced me to that messy line, where every drawing would have a unique line art. So you would never see the same line anywhere in the show. It would always be different, which I found pretty impressive, not to copy everything. And it makes the drawings a lot more livelier. What do you think is your best animation? I think in terms of actual animation, both episodes of The Suntree and Sprout have really smooth animation. That bouncy watering scene is probably the most well-animated scene I did so far. I love your animations so much. You do great work. Thank you. But does it get hard or sad working on all of those funeral videos? Well, usually my heart has to be destroyed before making these animations, because it can be a bit depressing to work on death and such. So how do you destroy one's heart, you may ask? One way is to watch some of the recent incarnations of the favorite shows you used to watch while growing up, and just see how horrible the current versions are. Same with games or movies, comic books, whatever. What do you do for a living? Well, I do animation on YouTube. But no, seriously, it's not really a lot to make a living off the animation on YouTube, because the amount of time it takes to produce animation does not really equal the amount of money you get paid from the ad revenue usually. Not to mention that some of us little guys have been paying a visit to my channel recently. So I still have to rely on freelance projects like illustrating for children's books. Are you self-taught? I would say mostly yes. Even though I went to the university to study animation, I ended up mostly doing all the work by myself with the books I found in the libraries, material online, lots and lots of practice. Even though we had some really, really basic animation lessons in the university, I don't think it was really enough to get to the level I'm at right now. And of course, I still have so much to learn. What's the story behind your channel's mascot? Mr. Sneaks was originally born in the final year of my high school/vocational school. It was during an English class. I remember I finished all the exercises and I was bored. So I started to doodle in my notebook, and I kind of ended up creating this simple shape, which reminded me of some classic characters, such as the Pink Panther. And I thought it was kind of a fun little creature to draw, because it's just kind of a stickman type of a body. Mr. Sneaks is very easy to draw, so I used him a lot in all those animation classes we've had in the beginning of my university life. Mr. Sneaks represents naughty attitude and this mischievous behavior, which is always fun for animation. Mr. Sneaks doesn't really have any obligations or responsibilities in life. That's why he pretty much just lives for fun. Any plans about Mr. Sneaks? In terms of new episodes, sure. As a matter of fact, I'm working on one right now. What was the scariest thing I've seen in a cartoon? There was this slice of life animated series called The Kids from Room 402. The show had a lot of episodes where the kids end up facing some of the worst or embarrassing situations in middle school possible. There was one episode where this kid, Jesse, because of the bad grades he was getting, he was transferred to this special kids class, and that was terrifying to me. Since my grades in middle school were constantly getting worse and worse, I always had this fear that I would be sent to a special needs class or something, or I would have to repeat the year or expelled. I don't know. What are the reasons behind your characters? Mr. Sneaks represents self-indulgence. Roy from Bully King represents revenge. Delight represents devotion. Santria and Sprout represent chaos and hope. Lance and Maple represent reckless righteousness. And Fufi represents unpleasant support. Some of these will need a few more episodes to actually make sense. I don't want to spoil much right now. So what was the biggest inspiration to go on this YouTube adventure? I've discovered this amazing channel of Harry Partridge in 2012. I was quite impressed by his output. So later on in 2015, I think, that's when I slowly started to realize that TV animation is pretty limited if I want to explore more kind of experimental stuff. So YouTube seemed to be a better option. Do you have any original animations or parodies planned for the future? I got a dozen of them. If only there was time and money to produce them. But you can see some of them in the Antoons trailer I made a while ago. Is everything going to turn up in Sonic's world, or is it really that way to stay? To be honest, at this point, I have no idea. We'll just have to see what Sonic's franchise is like in the future. What is my favorite game? I've played about thousands of games in my lifetime, but I noticed that I have this special place in my heart for the Game Boy Advance era. Games like Sonic Advance 2, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and especially Mother 3 were really inspirational at the time. Also, the Pokemon games were my most played games ever. I played Pokemon Sapphire for about 400 hours. But my favorite game of them all, I think, is Astro Boy Omega Factor. It was the most eye-opening game for me because it also introduced me to the whole world of Osamu Tezuka, the god of manga and anime, which made me really study animation on a different level. Another game which is pretty close to my all-time favorite is Smash Brothers Melee, which I played for about 1,000 hours. Can you show us what software you used to create your animations? Sure, it's TV Paint. TV Paint is this French software for mostly hand-drawn animation. So unlike Flash, where it's designed for a lot of different things, but animation is just among one of them, TV Paint is created specifically for hand-drawn animation. So yeah, I highly recommend checking it out if you're into the traditional stuff. What was the first game I ever played? The first game I've played on my 7th birthday was either the Flintstones for Genesis/Mega Drive or Tiny Toon Adventures. Fun fact is that I got into gaming because of the cartoons I was watching at the time. So all my games actually until around age 10 or 12 were all licensed properties. So like Looney Tunes, The Simpsons, Disney stuff, everything which is connected to the animation. Do you have an intended release date for The Survival of a Fetus or Delight's Plight? Not really. Making indie stuff is really unpredictable. What is your favorite guilty pleasure, game or movie? I don't really have a game or a movie, but there's this TV series which were airing on MTV2 in mid-2000s, I think, called Wondershausen. What other deathbed videos do you think about making? Well, whatever breaks my heart. What games do you have to plan done soon? Survival of a Fetus was pretty close to getting done, but not anymore, sadly. Who does the voices for your vids? They're all really spot on. I may not read them properly, but Steven Pena, Samuel Meza, Ashleigh Cote, Cote, Ian Pabito Ninti Chance, Matthew Euston, Tommy Evans, Sofia Garcia, who is, by the way, the composer on some of the animation films I've been doing, Cougar MacDowall, and some others, all have been outstanding in making the characters believable and relatable. Also, special thanks to Marcus Gargioni and Chris Crane for making sound design on most of my videos. These guys made sure that the voices sound perfectly balanced within the audio tracks of the animations. I'm gonna leave links to their pages in the description down below, so please check them out. How's that Survival of the Fetus game development going? It pretty much stopped at this point because my Fetus development partner, Nate Sanders, has been in the court for many months now, and looks like things are not looking good, but hopefully this game won't be completely aborted. Are there any stories, characters you were far along the development process you ultimately scrapped? I had this comic project called Cherry Cheers, which I started in 2011 in my study abroad / student exchange year in Connecticut. So Cherry Cheers is inspired by Oendan / Elite Beat Agents and kind of a play on stereotypes. I actually finished about 100 pages for this comic, but I only managed to color about 30 of them, which you can read on my blog, Antoonscape.com. What is my favorite song? The intensity of this question. I mean, you do realize there's thousands and thousands of songs I need to go through to pick the one. Out of all of my favorite bands so far, I would say I Believe in Symmetry by Bright Eyes. This song is like an emotional roller coaster ride when I listen to it, which is very relatable in my daily life. Are you still working on The Light's Plight? Well, to be honest, I haven't been doing anything on this game for about 2 years now. The reason is because my game development partner, Alexander, could no longer focus on this project anymore because of his full-time job. So I couldn't find anyone else to replace him ever since. If any one of you watching knows somebody who's good in game development, and especially Unity engine, then please let me know. Will we see a full gameplay trailer and release date at next year's E3? Most likely not. Do you have a Nintendo Switch? I still don't, because I'm finishing my 3DS backlog. Is Sonic your childhood character? No, not really. I started playing Sonic games in my teen years, so no. What is your favorite Sonic character? The Attitude Sonic from the adventure games. How old am I? I'm 30 years old. How's life? It's fine, I guess. Okay, maybe it's not so great, but it could always be worse. Lately, you have animated gaming characters and series dying. Why are you interested in addressing the theme in the videos? Well, as I mentioned before, things that tend to destroy my heart are quite inspirational. So I guess I wanted to portray what it feels like for the characters to be put in places where they don't want to be in, where they're forced to represent a company, so that the company can milk every bit of a dime possible from them, and in the end destroy the character's image. So in a way, the deathbed animations represent the death of my favorite franchises. Do I like Pixar? Not really. I do have my favorite Pixar films, which are the three Toy Stories, The Incredibles, and Bugs Life. But everything else is just kind of boring to me. Also, a lot of the CGI movies seem to be looking really, really samey and repetitive, so I tend to ignore them. What hobbies do you like? Exploring the languages. Because of the foreign cartoons I've been watching while growing up, I got interested in learning the languages used in those cartoons. So after taking some language classes and later courses, and also living abroad for a few years, I now can speak, besides my family tongue, Ukrainian, I can speak Estonian, Russian, German, Japanese, and English. And I'm currently studying French bit by bit, but it's definitely the hardest one I've touched so far. What's your favorite food? My family comes from Ukraine, so I was raised with a lot of Ukrainian cuisine. So I would say pierogies or vareniki with potatoes and onion. And the borscht, both the red and the green ones, are great. Here's 4 questions. What inspired you to do deathbed videos? Brand destruction. Are you at school or do you work? I work. Are you ticklish? Yes, very much. Have you tried the Try Not to Cry challenge? Yes, I try every day, but I fail. Is Peppa Pig better than Teen Titans Go? From what I've watched, I would definitely say yes. How to become a professional animation. There's this technique called pixelation, where you kind of use yourself as a stop motion character. And that's one way to become a professional animation. What is your next video game going to be about? I guess phone wreckers, breaking phones. What was the hardest part when it came to making the Sonic series? Trying Not to Cry? Are you going to buy the Reignite trilogy? Nope. I'm usually not a fan of remakes, especially since I've played the originals to death. Why did I enjoy subscribing to you? You need help, my friend. What country do I live in? I live in a tiny place called Estonia, where the population is less than 1.5 million, where most people are extremely introverted. It's pretty boring here, but at least it's one of the safest countries to live in terms of crime and murder. What is my favorite animation I made so far? I like how the Ed and Eddie parody turned out. Also, Sonic Part 4, Sonic Hell, was pretty neat. But I guess I'll go with the Bully King Episode 2, which I think has the most polish. Also because, despite it not having any dialogues or narration, it can be still understood just with the cinematography and the animation stuff. I think it's my favorite so far. Why is Mr. Sneaks obsessed with touching a woman's ass? He's naughty. Face reveal? Besides this video, been there, done that. Still strange, nobody saw that video. When is the next Sonic series that you put on is coming out? Because the last Sonic video, Sonic Hell, was demonetized. I thought about setting up some sort of a price for the next video to make it a little bit more fair. What's my next goal? To build a stable animation team I can count on. Can I turn your corpse into a diamond and sell it on eBay when you die? Depends if I like you in real life. Do you like Lego? I used to like it a lot when I was a kid. I had a lot of sets. Playing with Lego is a great way to be creative, so I'm all for it. Do I love you? Yes. Now go buy my merch, please. Oh wait, I don't have any merch. Maybe it's about time I should start designing some. Is Lance dating Maple? And will there be a new phone wreckers besides the two? They're just friends, but the complexities of their relationship will be revealed in the series. About the other wreckers, can't say much about it right now. Sorry. So that's about it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments down below if you want to see this type of content on my channel in the future. Also, I really want to thank you all for supporting this channel. I would have never gotten this far if it wasn't for you. So my heart goes out to all of you. Oh wait, that didn't seem right to say in English. Anyway, my destroyed heart is actually recovering because of you, so I can't thank you enough. So stay tuned for more Antoons, and until next time. Can I go back to the real world now?
You are here to stay.